What's going on, guys? It's Rob from Heroes Avenue. I hope you guys are having a happy Monday so far. We have a lot of things to talk about in the world of DC today. We have some rumors swirling about, and one in particular is incredibly intriguing, and it has to do with Wonder Woman 1984 and Steve Trevor. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about other rumors, and we are going to read the comments today. So let's get into that video. Okay, guys, today is all about the DC Extended Universe rumors, the worlds of DC rumors, whatever you want to call it. We have some interesting things to talk about. However, I do want to address two things before we start talking about those rumors, and the first is Aquaman. Of course, yesterday I did a video on Aquaman hitting $1 billion and what James Wan had to say about that. He really just took the time to thank everyone involved. One of the biggest people he had to thank was, of course, Jason Momoa, or Aquaman, or Pride of Gypsies, if you follow him on Instagram. And if you do follow him on Instagram, you saw that he posted about hitting this milestone himself. He posted a quick video which shows off some epic clips in Arthur in his classic suit, and he had this caption: $1 billion underdog, from Baywatch to making what once was the most disrespected superhero into a $1 billion movie. No one gets to the top without the people that love them. My success is from my fans. All my aloha to everyone that had a hand in making this movie. Mahalo Zach for choosing me, and mahalo James for creating this beautiful world. And he ends it with a bunch of hashtags. Aloha Jay. So I just wanted to go ahead and read that for all of you that don't follow Jason Momoa on Instagram. I feel like there's been a lot said about this $1 billion, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that for today. And the other topic I want to talk about before getting into the rumors is this still from the Shazam movie coming soon. As you can see, it is from Total Film Magazine, the same magazine in which we got the previous stills that I talked about in my last couple videos, the one with him on the cover and the one with him facing Dr. Savannah. Who knows who they are looking at here? It looks like it could be Dr. Savannah or the Seven Deadly Sins, or maybe he's just trying to defend his family from some bullies. There is a dialogue box in there. I'm not sure. It says, let's do all that stuff. I can't really... I can't tell if that's going to be in the movie exactly. I don't think it will be. But it's a pretty cool image. Not much to talk about here. But David F. Sandberg, again, if you do follow him on Twitter, he did post about his first day of shooting with Zachary Levi, and it is pretty cool. If you see in the image here, he's in that liquor store. It looks like that's one of the first things they shot, and it's him in his full outfit, Zachary Levi in the full Shazam outfit, which I think looks incredible. And if you look at his caption, it says, "First day of shooting with Zach," if I remember correctly. Swipe to see what the outside looked like most of the time to avoid people seeing the suit. And they had the liquor store all covered up there. It's pretty crazy what you see behind the scenes sometimes when directors kind of unveil some of the process in making the movie. David F. Sandberg in a previous post talked about how he made it look like a nighttime scene in that liquor store, even though it was actually daytime while filming. And it's pretty cool, the movie magic that gets created behind the scenes. So just wanted to share that with you guys. If you guys are not on Instagram already, let's get into some rumors. So here's how we're going to do this. We're going to talk about the two rumors that won't really include any spoilers, and the last rumor will be about Wonder Woman, and that may have potential spoilers. So if you don't want to hear anything about Wonder Woman, you might want to click off the video then. So let's get into it right now. According to Geeks Worldwide, the time-traveling superhero Booster Gold will appear in the currently in development Blue Beetle movie. Now, this Blue Beetle movie was announced maybe a few months ago now. I can't remember, but of course, we didn't get any solid or concrete information regarding the movie, only that it was in development. Of course, Blue Beetle and Booster Gold have history together in the comics, but this movie is going to be focusing on not the original Blue Beetle in Ted Kord, but instead the new iteration of Blue Beetle in Jaime Reyes. A smart decision, in my opinion. One, because it diversifies the DCEU roster and it doesn't feel forced. I can see this working out really well. The Booster Gold cameo, according to Geeks Worldwide, would be a small one, but I think with it being a small cameo, it could potentially set up a team-up style movie in the future between the two characters, if that's not what the movie is already. So the writer looks like it's Gareth Dunnett Alcacer, and I definitely haven't heard of him before. I haven't heard of this producer, Zev Foreman. Yep, I haven't heard of him. I'm not familiar with any of their work, and there is no director announced yet. So there's a lot of things we don't know about this movie. The one thing is, it does sound like an interesting direction to go in. So my question to you today is, do you think the DCEU is going in the right direction in adapting more of its more obscure superhero characters? We all just saw how Aquaman did. One of the more obscure Justice League members made the most money out of any DCEU movie so far. The upcoming Shazam movie looks like it's going to be great. We have Birds of Prey starting production already, and we have the Joker movie coming later on this year. So it looks like DC is going this route of adapting these obscure characters. Only time will tell if this direction is the right one, but I want to know what you guys think right now. Let me know in the comments below. Okay, the next rumor we are talking about is that the Matt Reeves Batman movie may be gearing up for pre-production already, and this is because a Twitter user at Stu_FX, who works for the Academy Award-winning VFX studio MPC Film, posted this tweet today. My childhood barber is going to be the on-set hairdresser for Matt Reeves' Batman. His first film job, he's stoked, and a damn good barber. I know it's just a tweet, guys, but I wanted to share that with you because, as you can probably tell from my video yesterday on this subject, I'm incredibly excited for this movie. So there you go. There's a little bit more news for you. And before we get into this last rumor, I want to go ahead and once again warn you guys there may be potential spoilers regarding this Wonder Woman rumor right here. You have been warned. Okay, so Wonder Woman 1984. We know that this film has wrapped principal photography last month, and we still have another year to wait, unfortunately, but there are some details that have dropped courtesy of a report from We Got This Covered. Those details revolve around Chris Pine's character, Steve Trevor. Now, if you watched the original or the first Wonder Woman movie, you know that Steve Trevor was one of the most endearing parts of that movie. Chris Pine was incredibly charming in this role, and he really carried a lot of the heavy weight in regards to the acting in this movie. As we all know, Gal Gadot totally looks the part of Wonder Woman. She embodies the character, but her acting skills, not necessarily the strongest, and with support from Chris Pine, he really helped carry this movie to the finish line, and I was really worried when he was killed off in that movie. Now, it was handled in such a beautiful way that it only felt right, but a lot of us started thinking, with his death, how would a Wonder Woman 2 play out? A lot of people suggest that we need Chris Pine to come back in some form or fashion, and it looks like we are going to get that. And the biggest question revolving around this movie, especially when they dropped the first pictures, was how is Steve Trevor going to come back, knowing full well that he is now, or he is in the movie. So with this article, it looks like we got some details about that. According to the article, Steve Trevor's return is tied to the fact that Maxwell Lord is involved with this movie, something that was heavily rumored, and a lot of people speculated that Pedro Pascal's role would be in this movie. Maxwell Lord, I'm talking about, of course. And it looks like that Maxwell Lord will be looking for magical artifacts, and this eventually leads him to Barbara Minerva, and he convinces Barbara Minerva to help him with his goal in looking for those artifacts. The relationship somehow goes sour, and Barbara Minerva is cursed by the artifact, turns her into Cheetah, and therefore she is going to hunt Maxwell Lord. And with this target on his back, Maxwell Lord reaches out to Diana with the promise that he will resurrect Steve Trevor in return for protection. Now, this kind of seems lined up with some of the rumors we've heard in the past. This wouldn't be the first time a rumor is true. I remember hearing rumors about Justice League and the plot details revolving around Justice League, and a lot of them came true. So again, if you guys are watching this right now, you guys don't mind about spoilers. But an interesting thing is that if Maxwell Lord is involved somehow, will he have the mind control powers that he has in the comics? Perhaps he gets it from the artifacts that are in question here. And if this is indeed the case, this sounds pretty interesting to me. A lot of people thought that she would just imagine Steve Trevor was there. She'd have flashbacks and have visions of seeing him. And, you know, that's how a lot of people predicted it would be. It didn't sound incredibly intriguing at the time. Hearing this rumor right here sounds way more intriguing to me and sounds really believable. So I want to know what you guys think about this potential avenue of resurrection for Steve Trevor. What do you guys think of it? Do you think this sounds believable? Let me know in the comments below. And we are going to end this video off by reading some of the comments from my previous video yesterday. Let's get into that. So in the last video, I talked about a rumor that suggested that in the upcoming Batman movie directed by Matt Reeves, Penguin was likely to be a villain alongside one other villain that we do not know at the moment. So I wanted to see who you guys thought the villain should be, and let's go ahead and choose some random comments from that video. Marco Zolo says they need to have the same Deathstroke actor from the post-credit scenes in the Batman. And he's probably talking about the post-credit scene in Justice League in which Joe Manganiello, I think that's how you say his name, played Deathstroke. Man, does he look like the perfect Deathstroke. Funny fact, he was actually the bully who tried to punk Peter Parker in the first Spider-Man movie back in, I think that was the year 2000. Was he Flash? Was he playing Flash? I can't remember on the top of my head, but he was, I think he was Flash, the bully who tried to punch Spider-Man at the lockers, and Spider-Man ends up embarrassing him. Yeah, that's the same guy. He's incredibly ripped. He looks the part, and he seems genuinely excited about the role. I do hope Joe Manganiello stays with this character, and hopefully that the Warner Brothers has plans for this character in the future. Yeah. All right. Let's look for another comment. Carlos Soto says, I want to see Penguin to connect Birds of Prey, Deathstroke with a little Justice League 2 buildup, and Mad Hatter, all done Arkham style, dark/detective. Yeah, I definitely want to see a detective Batman in this movie. Again, I talked about in the last video, that style or that part of Batman, that aspect of Batman has been a little bit underserved in the movies we've gotten. Not to say that I'm complaining at all, but I just want to see a little bit more of the detective side of Batman. Yeah, I originally thought Penguin was going to be in the Birds of Prey movie, but it looks like Victor Zsasz is going to be in that movie, and Black Mask. So that sounds cool too. I'm definitely liking how they're fleshing out this Gotham universe. Deathstroke with a little Justice League 2 buildup. That would be incredible. I definitely want to see another Justice League 2 movie. I definitely think this universe can move forward after Aquaman, especially given that we're going to get Shazam coming up, and it looks incredible. I think it's only going up from here. Let's see. Captain One Jones says, James Wan should not only direct Aquaman or do Aquaman 2, but should be given a choice of DC projects to direct and produce along with Patty Jenkins, while Matt Reeves should be given the Batman franchise. I'm all for James Wan doing Aquaman 2, and everything sounds promising here. I just don't want anything like what happened with The Last Jedi, and though I enjoyed The Last Jedi, I know a lot of people didn't. I understand their criticisms of that movie, and a lot of people wanted to give Rian Johnson Episode 9, but that was premature because when Last Jedi came out, it divided audiences. You either loved it or you hated it. There was few in between, but I just don't want that to happen. We haven't seen Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 2 yet. I'm assuming it's going to be great. I'm assuming Matt Reeves' Batman movie is going to be great, but I don't want to give it to them just yet until we see the movie come out. But that's just me. I'm sure they're going to do great, but who knows? Forles David, not sure how to say that name. He says, so basically every future DC movies will have multiple villains, and yes, that is a question. I'm not sure, but I am a fan of having multiple villains in these movies. I know, did Wonder Woman only have one villain? Was Ares the only villain of Wonder Woman? I think he was. Yeah, I mean, I like the fact, so if you had one villain in the movie, I like the fact that you can focus and flesh out that villain, but having two villains in the movie, I feel like it gives a lot of bang for the buck that you're shelling out, especially since movies cost so much money these days. I'm all for having multiple villains. I like how it has the potential to flesh out the universe. Now, a lot of people they complained that Black Manta, for example, in Aquaman was underserved, but I thought it wasn't. I thought he was a perfect setup for an Aquaman 2, and I like that. So I like how a second villain can serve for to flesh out a future movie or to set up for a future movie. I actually enjoy having multiple villains in movies, so I don't know. I hope so. Let's see. Firestorm says, I want Batman versus Deathstroke. I think James should stay as Aquaman director. And right under that, Darksaber 4 says, that was going to be Ben's script. but was rejected. Yeah, so originally Ben Affleck, of course, had Deathstroke as the main villain in his script, but that is scrapped to Matt now since Matt Reeves wanted to make his own story. But I definitely want to see Batman versus Deathstroke, especially if it's done Arkham style. Oh my gosh, that scene in the Arkham game just gives me chills every time I watch it. Grimsby Reaper says, do you think they are making a mistake not making Shazam a Christmas film? It just seems to fit that time of year for me. And of course, there's replays on TV every year after. By the way, you and your viewers might love my channel, Sci-Fi Superhero Extras and Reactions. Definitely have to check out your channel in a little bit. But and it has nothing to do with Batman. But I think making Shazam a Christmas film would have been great. But I just think, of course, they have episode 9 to contend with next Christmas. So, and Aquaman came out this December. So that, I'm all for putting a film out sooner than later. We had a long hiatus from when Justice League dropped into Aquaman. We had like a year where there was no film at all. So I'm all for dropping at least 2 films a year at this point. I want to see the momentum move forward, but I definitely think it would have been cool as a Christmas film, given how the New 52 comic went, and as well as what this movie looks like to be shaping up to be, especially what we've gotten in previews. It looks like it'd be a perfect Christmas film. Okay, Black Slate says, I would love to see Poison Ivy, Deadshot, and Jason Todd, aka Red Hood, along with Penguin in the Batman movie. Jason Todd should appear at the end credit scene for the next film, Batman 2, the guy under the red mask villain. This is just only my suggestion. You know what? I am all for having Poison Ivy in there. I have a feeling she might get introduced in the Birds of Prey universe of movies somehow. And Deadshot, I definitely would be down to see more of Deadshot. They said that he was going to get his own movie. I'm not sure if that's still a thing, but Jason Todd, yes, I want to see Red Hood. I want to see the whole Bat family in this universe. That would be awesome. But of course, they have to take their time to flesh it out. But I do think doing Under the Red Hood, that storyline is definitely a great future movie for the Batman. All right, that's all the time we have for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. Definitely drop a comment in the comment box down below so I can potentially read it in a future video. And I will catch you guys next time. Peace.